get things done. Nobody gets it done like we do. I just want to thank you all for coming back, because you came back. We just left the most beautiful ceremony, and it was magnificent. It was beautiful. We had the best we've ever had, but we've had the best ever in the world. Great. This group of people, we all did it before, and we'll do it again. And if you are somebody that likes history, and I think everyone in this room likes history, you would see and you would remember. So we are in a position where we have to start all over again, and we will start all over again, and we'll build something that was even better than we had before. We're going to rebuild it. We're going to rebuild it back as fast as we can. I think we're going to have an incredible transition. I call it transition. We'll start to see it. It's already happening. People want to come back. I think everybody in this room realizes we have to come back. You'll never be able to do it again. You'll never be able to build this miracle. It's a miracle what we did, what all of us did, and what many people before us did. You'll never be able to build it again. The people want to come back. You know, things that we had no idea 2 months ago. We've learned a lot, and we're going to do a job like nobody's seen before. They all view us as the world leader, and they're following us to have it right, to do it right. We have testing at a level that nobody's ever done before. Every leader tells us the same thing, but what's happened with testing is incredible. We're going into transition, and I call it transition to greatness. It's going to be transition to greatness, because we're going to do something very fast, and we're going to have a phenomenal year next year. There's tremendous pent-up demand. I want to thank you on behalf of our country. You know, I'm really looking forward to this, but I don't know if I can top the guy we have in there right now. And he's going to do a phenomenal job. Before that, we had an empty seat. Did a great job, and John is going to be phenomenal. Please.
Well, Mr. President, what the American people expect is transparency. I think we're well on our way to getting that. I want to also thank you for bringing us back here to be here and do our work.
I will say I got you all of your permits necessary. I got every approval for you. We agree on the coronavirus, and on that we've gotten along very well, and you're all set, okay? You're all set. Just get his signature. So thank you very much, but thank you very much for the job you've done. Appreciate it.
We're here to lead by example and to say that we're ready to work. So we need something meaningful to help those back home. In North Carolina, we're very grateful for all the work that you've done. We're ready for Q3. We're ready for Q3. We're ready for Q3. We're ready for Q3. We're ready to get going in North Carolina. We're ready to rebuild.
Great job. Thank you.
I
remember being in a room with, I think, 21 people, and I was the only one that wanted to do that. It had never been done before. Nothing like that had ever been done before. I should have done it sooner. There was nobody even thought about it. I can understand it. And that demand is coming back is number one. And once that demand goes up, it's going to be great for the energy.
Perhaps they could have noticed the need if they had not been pursuing the hoax coup. That's exactly what it is. I'm optimistic.
Nobody ever told me the swamp was going to be this vicious or this deep. He's a strong guy, and he's done a great job, and not easy. He's fighting a lot of fights, but he really has been great, and we appreciate it. Change everything. One of the most incredible things, isn't it, huh? And what a job he's done too, right, Mark? He's been amazing, and he does it himself.
Your team is here, we're ready to work, and we are inspired.
But I think overall we have some really good support. I've had great support from almost all. And in some cases, we have done a phenomenal job. That's a nice statement, phenomenal, that's a good word. It's true, but we've had great support, so we can work with them.
The people around the country appreciate it, and we just need to keep it up, and we'll have the great comeback happening real soon.
Great. We have the best tests in the world, with the most tests in the world. And here we go again. Here we go again. But we beat them, and we've been beating them for a long time, and they cannot accept it. They cannot accept it.
And now if that happens, then what will have happened is something historic, that we would have experienced the biggest shock in the history of the world. And now if that happens, then what will have happened is something historic, that we would have experienced the biggest shock in the history of the world. The policies that you all worked together to adopt built a bridge to the other shore. Thank you, sir.
And at the same time, we would have saved millions of lives, because ultimately, that's what we did this for. Thank you, good point.
We want to deliver, and we're honored to be here today. Many of us here in this room were with you on the beaches of Normandy, and we're honored to be back here today, to be with you on VE Day. They were little kids, even though they saved the world. Between Suffolk and County, we had, as of right now, over 70,000 positive cases of coronavirus. Between Suffolk and County, we had, as of right now, over 70,000 positive cases of coronavirus. Between the Comforter. The next day, you're here in the House right now that Suffolk ordered. There has never been a president ever who's had the back of Jews in this country and around the world like you have. Moving the embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. When you are all in, more than any other president, doing what's right and delivering on the promises of presidents in the past, thank you for your leadership on all accounts and delivering.
Definitely an honor to be included on this task force and be here really to work with you to help this transition to greatness. You've had great messages. It's resonated with the whole country. We love you. Look forward to you coming back. The example that you set, the states really have had different experiences and different approaches to dealing with this virus, but also a legacy of dealing with problems in a different way. You see the legacy where 58% of their budget goes to rainy day fund, where 58% of their budget goes to rainy day fund. That approach is important. Every single one of us wants to get it back. We all swore that same oath I swore to support and defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We take that very seriously, and the civil liberties that have been infringed upon, the sense of freedom and the sense of identity that's under attack in this era, having the Department of Justice say we are going to defend freedom and lead that example is a big deal. But the temptation is always tracing and tracking everybody. It could be just as dangerous. We're talking about VE Day. And the last time the planet had this much debt was after World War II. So we did owe it to people to try to provide the stability that we did. We do have to be cautious about unsettling the system. It's worked great for us. We have been the world's reserve, and we wouldn't want to give that up by being foolish.
They're energetic. They want to open up. They have faith and confidence in you and your leadership because they know what happened before. Marvelous. We need to set the example for the American people that we're ready to be here.
Sunday night, the approval was on Friday. Thank you for the effective response to this crisis.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your bold, visionary, decisive leadership. It has made a huge difference in the Keystone, the PPP in particular. The PPP in particular has been a lifeline because that's who people know. They have a relationship. That's worked really well. Our businesses are dying, and I don't know what. Well, you know, we shouldn't have to make this choice. We can do two things at one time. You have proven you can do many things at one time and be effective. Yeah. So the transition to greatness, I think, might include something like that. Right now, some assurance that they can do the right thing. Once we get through this, there must be an accountability. There must be an accountability. We all want to get back. We're here. We're ready to be. Let's just get back to work. Let's just get back to work.
Thank you very much. Great.
Thank you, Mr. President. Greg from Eastern North Carolina. It's been a merciless last 4 years. This crisis has highlighted this. We thought that this possibly could be a way of bringing our nation together. This has been building a plane while we've been flying it. It's time that we made decisions based upon fact, not fiction, not fear-mongering, but truth. And wouldn't it be nice to get the truth? We believe enough to let us come back. It makes sense. We look at the science. We can do this. We're not inventing the wheel again.
We've been anxious to get back to the Hill, and we wish we could be in the House doing our regular work, and hopefully we'll get back to that. We've been trying to advance our core principles, and we came out with a 37-point framework, a return to accountability, the playbook to run. We think it's consistent with a lot of the administration and what you've articulated, and we hope we can work together on it. The whole team, your whole administration has been so accessible and transparent. I had written those two words down before you said it. That marks the Trump administration. You know, our time-tested principles cannot be abandoned now. That's what's going to guide us through this, right? And we were on mute, but we all said amen. We were on mute, but we all said amen, 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 amen. They call me the great communicator. I was just communicating great things, and they're the same great things that have guided our country since its founding. We believe in those time-honored principles. We believe in individual freedom, limited government, and responsibility, and lower taxes and less regulation. Those are the things that are going to guide the country back in this transition you're talking about. And we're so grateful that you and your team are holding the line on that. We'll be with you. We're your foot soldiers.
I want you to know that I believe you are exactly the right person for the job. And I am totally convinced that you will do it again. There are so many people out there that absolutely think you're doing a great job. So please keep it up.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
I just want to connect a dot or two. I've been around a while. I thought I'd seen it all, but this is a new wrinkle. I don't want to repeat this experiment, but I'm just saying. You did it once, and if we stay with those principles and do it again, so I really believe that. It is my honor to be part of this.
So we're looking at the transition to greatness, and I think it's starting right now. It's really what it is. It's a great term. It just came out at this meeting. True. It came out by accident. It was a statement, and it came out, and you can't get a better one. The greatest geniuses in the world to come up with the slogan, but that's the slogan we're going to use, transition to greatness, and it's starting right now. And I appreciate everybody we called. Not one person turned you down. This was just a quickly set up meeting. It got sort of delayed, and we can sit back and we're going to watch. Great, the tests are perfect, but something can happen between a test where it's good and then something happens and all of a sudden, but they've taken all of the necessary precautions. I understand 66%, did you say that? It can happen anywhere. It's a very elusive, but they've taken all of the necessary precautions. I understand 66%, did you say that? It can happen anywhere. It's a very elusive. I think more importantly than anything with this one, it's probably the most contagious anybody has seen. Look, I get things done. I don't worry about things. I do what I have to do. Strong precautions at the White House, but again, we're dealing with a invisible situation. Nobody knows. When I see that 66%, who would ever think a thing like that's possible? Yeah, we're taking very official steps. Look, I understand what we're dealing with. We're dealing with something very serious. You can have it and get through it very easily. Some people have a harder time. Most people get through it. Some people are devastated by it. But for the most part, when you have it, you get better.
Here's what I would offer. John, we spoke about this earlier.
They die too, like everything else. They die too. And so whether we do or not, I think great progress is being made by Johnson & Johnson, by Oxford. This is going to go away at some point. I'm relying on 50 very talented governors. I don't think they are all talented, but many of them are very talented. This was an artificial turning off of a tremendous economy. When we turn it back on, which we've just started doing, I think it's going to come back blazing. I think next year has a chance to be one of the best years we've ever had because there's tremendous pent-up demand. Fourth quarter is going to be very good, maybe better than that. The transition is going to be very interesting. I call it the transition to greatness. We're going to have a great year next year. I think it's going to be a really powerful year. And I'll tell you what, I've watched some people and read some people that I would say would not have agreed with that, and I haven't seen anybody disagreeing with what we're doing. And in fact, they say what we're doing with the PPP, with all of the things that we're doing is great. They would say that's music to their ears, right? So we'll see. I would be in favor of that. Yeah, I would have loved to have gone up and hugged them because they're great. Right? They've lived a great life. They were great.
Mr. President.
Appreciate that. Your book was very good. You've known me for a long time. This wasn't really in the schedule, right? I knew him long before I thought in terms of this. We had one very good story, right? This was before I announced, and I've been toying with it for a long time, but never did it, never decided. And he also got great ratings when he did that. Yeah, your book is very good. Congratulations. That's a great book. I'll tell you, he did something else great. He did a that was so incisive. Did you see that? Something else great. He did a that was so incisive. Did you see that? Something else great. He did a that was so incisive. Did you see that? He did something that was so incredible, and I actually pinned it on top, right? We pinned it on top. You were fantastic. 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 You were fantastic.
Let's say goodbye with a smile, dear. We will succeed. We will succeed. And that will belong to everyone. We should take comfort that while we may have more, we will be without. We must part. They'll be happy to know that I saw you go away.
Greater than anything else, the crowds gave thanks, not just here but everywhere.
I may be wrong, but I'm perfectly willing to swear that when you turned and smiled at me, and nightingale sang in my